I am under no laws but God's. We've discussed that this lesson will be coming up and talking about it, and here it is. We are finally getting into the idea of what is magic and essentially what is, say, the difference with miracles. And it's rather interesting because this is one of the most misunderstood lessons, and it kind of is the basis of misunderstanding the entirety of A Course in Miracles. So the fact and what the matter is about what magic is and what miracles are and what the laws of God consist of all seem different. There's so many different variations to interpret this that usually imply that you're doing something wrong. Now, if you're implying that you're doing something wrong when you're reading it, and you think that there's guilt being implied in this, in your insanity, then you're misunderstanding what this is referring to. So the laws of God and what the laws of God are, essentially, just to sum it up, I'm not going to make a list for you, but to sum it up in the sense of simply everything you desire and think of becomes manifest. So just to say it in that simple way, of course there's ways of debating that and figuring it out essentially, but to recognize that you have made decisions manifest to put your salvation into objects. So this is what is referred into magic, like pills and money and different variations of all sorts of different things, where you think, if only I do this, or if I take that, or get this amount, then I'll be saved. It's really understandable in the sense and what most people understand with the pills, in the sense of, oh, these pills are magic and they change the substance of my body, or they actually heal me, or whatever it might be. And people tend to avoid pills and stop medicine at this lesson because they misunderstand why they work. So remember that the laws of God, for the sake of just summing it up in the sense of whatever you think about, becomes manifest. In that same sense is, if you think about a pill working or not, it becomes manifest. So in that case, it is in the laws of God, yes. But the fact that you think it's in a pill is magic. So everything in the whole world is all encapsulated in this idea of magic. The fact that you think gravity is what is holding you down is magic, when it's not gravity holding you down. It's whatever you think becomes manifest. In the same sense of the fact that you think you are something to be held down, like a body, is an idea of magic. You put all of these different variations and laws into different constructs and shapes and forms of what you call your world. And so everything goes by this. So easily passed over is that line referring to the fact that you think there's laws between what is yours and what is God's. And this is actually in referencing to the fact that there is none. There is no difference between what you are and what God is. So even while you think there is, it is simply because what you think as God becomes manifest. You literally create universes and worlds in your experience because of what you are. Now, to go against that is a whole nother story, because you made a decision already to be here. And to go against a decision, you have to be in that same authority, that same position in which you made solid construct. It's a pretty fascinating thing, because all throughout this course, we'd like to say that this is talking to essentially an ego, and it's trying to hint to what is the truth of you. But really, there is no ego. All throughout A Course in Miracles, there is not any discussion about an ego. even when it says and is discussing about an ego. An ego is just an idea that you have about yourself. You have it about yourself. But what you are, in the laws of God, has an idea, and it becomes manifest. It does not make it, in that sense, real, but it will be experienced as real. So even in that state of what you are as actually one with God, it doesn't matter what you think, because it will all become manifest at one point or another. So this idea of referring to and getting into the laws of God, we simply have to recognize that yes, there's all these other variations of laws about starving and dying, and that you need money to get food, and different variations of health and protective clothing, and all these different things are all constructs in your mind that have become manifest. So we like to think, and so easily with course students, including myself at the beginning, misunderstand as if there is something other than the laws of God, as if magic is something outside of the laws of God, and that's a misunderstanding. I am under no laws but God's. That's not saying that these other laws can't apply. These laws are only applying because of the law of God in which I'm using to make it happen. I had an idea of gravity, I have an idea of bodies, I have an idea of separation, and it literally becomes my reality. I make worlds and universes manifest from that simple idea. That is under only the law of God. So we have to recognize that even while it seems like there's many other laws, all of this whole digest of different laws, all of these are here because of decisions made. We call them discoveries. Decisions made by that in which you are, by the one law of God, that what you think becomes your reality. Oh man, good stuff going on right here. Jeez, this is awesome. It's so easily misunderstood that the Course is not telling you you're doing something wrong. It is telling you that if you want to know yourself, then you have to think properly. You have to think in correspondence to what yourself is. If you think in a different fashion, you'll understand different things. So in this same sense, you can't understand and know the law of God if you think you're under all these other laws and don't recognize that all these other laws are under the law of God. So establishing that sense and remembering that no matter what law, no matter what circumstance, no matter what is going on in physics or anything, it is all because the law of God has established it.